What is the writing process? The writing process is all about producing a polished piece of writing, how you generate, organize, and present your ideas to your audience. This process applies to all forms of media, including books, podcasts, plays, television shows, movies, and online videos. The writing process consists of the following steps: planning, drafting, revising, editing and proofreading, publishing. But how do we put these steps into action? To help us better understand how to apply the writing process, we've gathered insights from 5 writing professionals. Let's get started. Planning. Planning takes place before you begin writing. It's about generating and organizing your ideas. But where do these ideas come from? Let's ask our professionals.
The ideas literally come from everywhere. They come from conversations that I have with people on the subway, to stuff that I read. I'm constantly reading books, publications, newspapers, periodicals, to you bump into somebody at Queen's Park and you get a tip, to anything. I can't tell you how many shows that I've done that have been as a result of having had a conversation with somebody who just approached me on the subway and said, "Can I share an idea with you?"
In my life, when I think of where my ideas come from, they come from things that wake me up at night. Those stories that I just can't get out of my head.
My ideas come from a mystery that I can't solve, something that's been haunting me. It could be an incident that I read about or heard about, or something in my own life too that I haven't fully understood and that I need to dig deeply in order to understand. And that's usually how it begins.
Honestly, my ideas can come from anywhere. I try a lot to just kind of be open and kind of getting it from the world around me.
My ideas are a combination of being aware of my thoughts and researching things. So all of my content comes from either me having a question about something that I want to answer, or being really passionate about a topic and wanting to talk about it.
Step 2, drafting. Drafting is where you begin to put your ideas on paper. During this stage, you'll start to see the shape of your ideas come together. How do you organize your thoughts?
I just try to be as organized as I can be. The fact of the matter is, there are very few times during the course of the day, and this may not be a good thing, where I'm not thinking about my job and how best to kind of organize what I want to be doing.
So sometimes it helps when I work with a producer who might have a really good mind at structure and organizing thoughts, because I can talk to them and they can kind of lay out the big pieces, and then I can say, okay, I'm gonna go find this person, or I'm gonna go try to find someone that has this, this experience, or let me see what I can bring back for you. So it always helps to work with friends anytime you're in audio or TV. It always helps to work with other people because 2 minds are better than one.
It begins with a character who embodies somehow the search for this idea or a way of digging into it. They usually have a rather strong voice. You let the characters lead. They will tell you what the story is going to be.
I have this note on my phone that I have kept for over 10 years now, and I just write down every idea that comes. And it could be a good idea, it could be a bad idea.
Honestly, I'm very chaotic, so the way that I organize my thoughts is by luring in my friends and family to have conversations with me about the topic so that I can go on these very long rants about them. And because I'm trying to explain what's in my head to another person in a conversational way, it gives me an opportunity to figure out what information is most relevant and which points need to be expanded on, and helps me figure out where each point logically fits in relation to the others.
Step 3, revising. Revising is when you review your work and make adjustments. It's about refining your ideas and improving clarity. How much does your drafted piece change during the revision process?
It changes a little bit by me. I will hammer out a first draft and then I'll go through it a second and a third time and just make sure it's up to what I think my standards are.
So I would say be very open to the revision process. It is just a part of the game, it's fun. And you may start with one story and it may look nothing, absolutely nothing like what you finish with, but that's okay.
Absolutely, hugely. I listen to, what's really wonderful is to get a group of actors and I listen to them read, And I know instinctively you feel what's wrong, what's too much, what's a cliche. And I have the draft in front of me, and I quickly, I'll erase that, erase this, say this whole page is way too long, it's boring, I'm boring myself to pieces, even with wonderful actors. So you get wonderful actors, it's not the actors, it's you. And so you're able to revise on the spot. And I think that people beginning as writers should just trust their instincts and their ear. They know when something's boring or too much or too little or confusing is really bad too. If they go, what is this about? What's happening? That's no good either. So you have to go and be really crystal clear.
I would say when you're revising your work, it can change almost 100%. And you need to be open and willing for those changes to happen. You put this work out there and you run it through some friends, some people who are going to edit your work. And sometimes in the past, I've worked on stuff where 99% of the script is garbage. It sucks. But there's one tiny thing that we all agree is really special and unique and worth kind of starting from. And in that case, you preserve what works and you throw out the rest and you rebuild it. And it's only by being completely willing to tear it down to nothing that you can build something that's really, really great.
The difference between my first draft and my revised version is night and day. Like, you can tell the two versions are cousins and they have similar ideas in them, but the level of clarity and readability changes drastically. Because my first version is so loose, it sometimes doesn't even make sense to me. So when I go in to make revisions, I'll often move points around or add punch-ups or just rewrite full sentences and sections.
Step 4, editing and proofreading. At this stage, another person, often a trusted advisor, reviews your work. They'll catch mistakes, make suggestions for improvement, and ensure your writing is polished. Professionals, what are your strategies for editing and proofreading?
What are my strategies for editing and proofreading? I don't have any.
Have a good team. Have a really good team. You don't want to ever do anything by yourself in journalism. It is a team sport and you need each other. So my suggestion would be just make sure that you have people around you that are not afraid to tell you that you're wrong, are not afraid to disagree with you.
I think for editing, it's very helpful to have an outside eye and an honest friend who could say, that part's boring, or I don't get that at all, or I hate that character. That is important. But other than that, for the real substance of it, it's only you. It can only come from you. It's your voice.
If you want to make the best piece of work possible, you can't be precious. You have to put it out there so that people can say, hey, your lead character, it's kind of meh. And you might think, hey, I thought my lead character was great, but it's how people are interpreting and receiving the work that you need to acknowledge that what you thought was great isn't being heard by others.
My number one strategy for proofreading and editing is literally to read my work out loud. I'll sit down on the couch and just read like I'm presenting it. Reading in your head is one thing, but reading it out loud makes it very clear as to what sounds good and what makes sense and what absolutely does not.
Step 5, publishing. You finished writing. Great job. Now it's time to share your work with the world by publishing it. How do you feel when a piece is out there?
The feeling of gratification you feel when you've completed a book is really unlike anything else in my professional life. And when they finally publish it and send you a box of 10, which is what usually happens, and you pick it up in your hand and you hold it for the first time, is really kind of emotional. And it's a beautiful thing.
Sometimes, if you're a perfectionist, it's never going to be exactly everything you want. Just be kind to yourself, if you believe in it, you believe in the storytelling, be open to the feedback, be open to the response that your storytelling can create. Let your babies walk in the world and be proud, and then take the feedback and go at it again.
It's like it's your birthday every minute. It's so exciting, and especially if it goes well. If it doesn't go well, it's the worst thing on earth. And watching an audience interact with your play is so exciting and informative.
It's really exciting that it's out there. You hope you don't get bashed. And if you're really, really, really lucky, you find out that the thing that you thought was so special and amazing, everyone else thinks it is too.
So when I finally post a video, I had this moment of excitement that this thing I've been working so hard on is finally out in the world and people get to watch it. But that moment is followed by a very hollow feeling that this thing that's essentially my baby is no longer the focus of my life, and that gets really sad. But then I eventually find another topic to dive into, and then I get happy. So yeah, it's a cycle.
The writing process can be applied to various mediums. It's really all about effectively conveying your ideas from your mind to your audience, no matter the format. Practicing the writing process will improve your communication skills in any field, interest, or art. And that's the writing process.